Good morning, everybody. This is the Made in Paradise podcast. It is Wednesday, June the 3rd, 2026. I'm your host, John Clark, along with my co-hosts, Jamie Foxx and that kid Mike from Stranger Things. And so this morning, I got some questions for the two of you. And as your mentor and teacher and slave driver, I absolutely want you to answer from your gut always, right? So whenever I'm trying to get you to answer a question, I'm saying, okay, answer right out of your gut. Answer out of your gut. Go with your instinct. Listen to what your instinct is saying. Probably the truth. So that's what we're going to do here. We're going to go back and forth. I'm going to start with Darren, and then I'm going to have the same question for Anthony. But then the next time I'll start with Anthony, and then we'll pass that same question to Darren, right? So whoever starts, got to answer. The other one, you can think a little bit, but still you need to pay attention to what your gut says. That's probably the truth of the question. Here we go. Number one, Darren Fingleton, what's the biggest lie you believed as a child that turned out to be completely wrong?
The biggest lie that I believed as a child that
turned out to be completely wrong.
Well, that all my friends would, from elementary, we'd be friends forever. I mean, that's one of the biggest things. As you keep growing up in life, you get this friend group and you think, oh, we're going to be best friends forever. As you keep getting older, you're like, wow, your friends just constantly are changing. It's whoever you're around with. So I think that was probably one of the biggest ones.
Anthony Ferguson.
To answer that question immediately, I think on Santa Claus. I believe in Santa Claus, and when I find out he was
How old were you when you discovered it? How old were you figured it out?
Well, like 10, probably.
10. Right. And do you remember what it felt like?
Yes.
And so did you have a contrast at that moment between Santa Claus and God? Because that's like mental torture for children, right? To teach them that in Santa Claus and God at the same time, these two unseen figures. And then at some point they're going to discover, because I discovered by someone telling me at school, right? And then I just told other people, and then other people didn't like their children being told that there was no Santa Claus. So do you remember how it felt?
Yes, because mom was a little bit more hardish, right? My mom said, because they used to have me like written down all my dreams, right? So that Santa Claus could read it out and bring the dream for me, right? Make it real. And then one day my mom didn't have the money, and she said, "Hey, wait a minute. There's no Santa Claus. Don't write anymore. Let's just quit with this shit, right? Forget about it, right? There's no Santa Claus. Don't write anymore, please."
Anthony Ferguson, a new question for you. Do you believe your life has a specific purpose, and what is it?
Yes, definitely. And I believe that because you taught me about this, in thinking that we are here all around here for one purpose. And I think it will guide someone else, because what I realized, if the life take me on certain direction, probably is to help myself or help someone else. So I think I'm around here to guide someone else, right? To guide them in peace, in love, patient. That's what I think. That's what my gut says.
That's a good answer. Darren Fingleton, pass to you.
I had something similar that popped right in my head, and that's to make connections. So you're constantly meeting new people constantly, and those people that are coming in, you're trying to make not trying to make an impact in their life, but you're always trying to make new connections and meet new people. So kind of what was my first thought.
Darren Fingleton, have you ever walked away from serious money for a moral reason?
Serious money for a moral reason? No, I can't say. I don't think I've ever really been truly offered serious money that that was.
That you had to turn down for a moral reason.
Yeah, I don't
Anthony
think I've
Ferguson.
ever had that.
Anthony Ferguson, what do you got?
Yeah.
Have you done it?
Yes.
Is it a story you can tell?
Probably I could tell a story, but a little bit fixed out. Don't mention any name of.
All right. So what was the circumstance? Turning down money for a moral reason.
Yeah, I mean, they was asking me to help them hiding something, right? And then we get like a cut back, right? But that wasn't going with my thinking, because I was Christian and I'm still believing there's a God, even though I don't believe in the church God. So that wasn't connect with my my how you say this? Yeah, you got the idea. So
All right.
he was asking to take some money, and I said, no, I don't want. That's not me.
Good choice.
And all of you could just figure out what that was about in Kuwaiti, the Caribbean side of Costa Rica. All right. Anthony Ferguson, you're 38 now, is that correct? 38?
That's correct.
You're 38 years old. What's something you're still afraid of that genuinely surprises you, you're still afraid of it? At 38 years old.
Oh, if you're talking about animal, that'll be snake. Definitely. I'm still surprised, right? I'm still surprised that there's all this information.
And you can't just get over it. I mean, you can't just work that on your out of your head and say, I'm just not afraid of those anymore.
I tried. Believe me, I tried. If you brought us a plastic fake snake, I would jump every single time. For some reason, I tried.
Yeah, Darren, something you're still afraid of at this age that still surprises you?
Tight spaces. I mean, you know me, I like heights. I like doing dangerous activities for that adrenaline rush. But there's just something about me watching people that go into caves and things like that. It sends chills up my spine.
No. They're in the middle of rescuing some guys in Thailand or whatever, and they're showing these spaces they're crawling down into, and there's no way. There's no way. Just shoot me first. I'm not crawling in there. I am not going into that. No.
I saw this video of this guy the other day. I don't know why people think this is fun, but I guess everyone has their own thing. But he was literally crawling into a space that he's like, I don't know if I can even turn around in this spot. Like, it was that tight and narrow, and he's had to take his backpack off, just wedge it off, and he's throwing his backpack up, and he's just crawling.
No.
Little flashlight.
Not happening.
No.
Not doing it. No, not doing it. Okay, Darren Finkelton, what's the hardest conversation you've ever had to initiate, and did you wait too long to have it?
The hardest conversation that I ever had to initiate.
And did you wait too long to have it?
I think one of the hardest conversations was to have with, I would have to say, a family member of mine, and they were on a drug use, and I'd noticed it for a long time coming, and I really had to say what I had to say in the moment, and it broke the relationship apart completely, but I think it was worth it.
You still had to say it, but you still had to say it.
Yeah.
Yep. Anthony, what about you?
When I tried to remove my sister mentality about religion, right? That was a hard one, right? Because when you believe, right? And no matter how much evidence you brought to the table, they would find a way to say, you're foolish.
But see, the thing about that is I have common ground with everyone. Because if you just take the conversation back to love and say, wait a minute here, right? Do we agree that we need to love each other? Because no matter what religion people are, we agree that we need to love each other. Do we agree that we would like everybody to go to a good place after they die? Yes, we do, right? We have lots of evidence, 25,000 documented near-death experiences. The people went to the other side, gave us a report, came back. They say everybody goes over there and everybody goes to a place of love, right? Nothing is lost. No one is lost. And so when we talk to people who have beliefs that we don't agree with, you find the common ground, right? You find the common ground and say, okay, let's go over here on these things we can agree about. We can agree about love and we can agree about service, right? We need to take care of the poor people. Do we agree about that? You see what I mean? So if we agree about loving people and then we take care of the poor people, what do we really have what do you want to argue about? You want to say we don't reincarnate? Okay, listen, I'll meet you on the other side after we're both gone and we'll have a discussion about it. And if you're right, I'll just say you were right. People don't reincarnate.
Well, if you're meeting them on the other side.
But if you're meeting them on the other side, well, see, how important is that right now? It's not right now because we're not on the other side. And so if you have to have a difficult conversation with someone about religion, it's probably a conversation you shouldn't have to have because it's not a convincing of an either or an or. If they want to believe that they get punished after there's a possible place of punishment, I would just say, can you believe that a God that's all love could make a place of eternal punishment? It's just hard to believe. And the scripture doesn't stand up. Right? So you can go through all of that. Whose turn is it for a question?
Mine.
Yours. Anthony Ferguson, do you consider yourself ambitious, and in what way?
Well, definitely in a way that, in regard to what Darren said yesterday, trying to relate one thing to the other in regard to wealth. The wealth is not related directly to money, right? So I am ambitious in the way that I would like peace, freedom for my family, for the one that I care of, right? And I'm trying to work that direction, right? Because if I'm get like worried for, let's say, money, right? And you say, oh, that's Anthony's ambitious. That's not true, right? I'm worried for time, because you could recover money, you can't recover time. So I would say time.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say
Darren?
I'm definitely ambitious. I'm always constantly trying to think of ways of how to make things move faster, whether it's sending emails or using some sort of platform or whatever it may be. I'm constantly trying to figure out how do we make this better. And so I think that's my biggest thing, being ambitious with.
That's good.
What about you, John?
All right. I don't see myself as ambitious at all anymore. I remember when I was wanting to build empires, and I was having a discussion this morning with my neighbor about some beautiful trees that are right out here. And we were just sitting there for, I don't know, 15 minutes talking about these 6 trees that are the view out my front door. And, cleaning those trees and animals that live there. And, an unusual bird came up while we were having that conversation. I think that's kind of the opposite of ambition, right? I'm just at that level where I really like to teach, but I only want to teach the people who want to hear what I have to say. I don't want to convince anybody of anything.
But you are ambitious in that way. You are ambitious as if someone shows up and they are open to your teachings or whatever it may be.
Yeah, I'll give them some information. Sure, I'll give them an earful. Absolutely. Anthony, since I've known you, I would say that as a result of my relationship with you, you've met hundreds of people. Is that right?
Right.
Definitely. Hundreds of people. That's not an exaggeration at all. You've met hundreds and hundreds of people. Right. You've been with me on projects. You've seen hundreds of employees come and go. Lots of people. How do you think your life has changed as a result of seeing me interact with hundreds of people?
Oh, a lot, because I learned the way you react for example, in a room with just Darren and I, and how you react in front of hundreds of people. So then I started to learn and said, I like the way, because you shift from being, for example, someone who just could sit, relax, sit back and just talk about any topic. And then when you have to take over the control and give an advice or say something in a way that everyone, because you have the gift where you could explain something. And I have this experience with you, and I told you at Casa Creole, that the way you explain things, kids from 3 or 4 years old could catch the idea immediately, right? So I learned how you present an idea to a huge audience in a way that everyone say, oh, right, that was great. And you don't get nervous, you don't get overwhelmed. I definitely learned that about you.
That just comes with experience, Anthony. I went through all the nervous and overwhelmed and all of that stuff. And then you just, as you get older, and you just realize people are people, and everybody's putting their pants on one leg at a time, right? That it just kind of goes away. And then once you understand that people like what you have to say, all the nervousness is going to go away. So now, I can just give a speech at the moment. If you pick a subject that I feel comfortable talking about, I can just talk about that. Anyway, Darren Fingleton, you've, as well as Anthony, have had hundreds of new relationships as a result of your relationship with me. What have you learned in going through all those relationships, seeing all those different people, how I interacted, because in a lot of ways it was different people than Anthony saw, right? Because you were on different projects than Anthony was. So what did you learn?
What did I learn? I mean, and when you're running a business, what do you say? You heard it from somebody else. It's hire quick, or
hire carefully and fire quickly.
Fire quickly, yeah.
And fire quickly.
I learned that very fast, especially when we were in Panama, on how much you really need to focus in on that. So you're hiring somebody and you're taking your time, making sure is this the person for the right candidate for this position. If they don't work out within a week, you need to let them go immediately.
Right. If you're late the first week, there needs to be a dead body. Right? If you're late the first week, it needs to be your daddy's funeral.
Yep.
That's it. Right? Yep. That's it. Because you're showing a habit that you're going to deal with forever. Exactly. Good answer. All right. Whose turn for a question?
Mine.
Yours. Is there somebody that you haven't forgiven? And if so, do you think you're ever going to forgive them?
No, I have no one that I need to forgive, because
you have no unforgiveness in your heart whatsoever.
No, let me be clear here. I can pretty sure say that if I haven't met you, there would be several people that I haven't forgiven yet. But you taught me all this thing that someone that can forgive someone is hurting their own self, right? So I started to work this and said, do I have to keep these feelings, right? It's affecting me. So now I could see people that do things really wicked to me or to my family, and I could see them to the face and say, hello, good morning, with no like feelings behind that. So yeah, I have no one that I need to forgive.
Darren?
I can't say that I do. I think it wasn't my first ayahuasca experience that I let go of all of that. I can't remember which one it was, but it wasn't too far after the first one, the second or maybe the third, that I learned that it doesn't do me any good to hold them grudges. When I see that, I used to hold on to grudges quite a bit, and I'd say, this person did that to me, or this person made me feel this way. And I still have that feeling where I can feel that this person did this thing to me, but I don't hold anything to it. If I see him in person, I can have a friendly conversation with him, and I can go about my day like nothing ever happened. And so I can't say that I do. I've forgiven everybody.
Good answer. Darren, is there one major life decision that you would go back and make differently?
One major life decision. Oh boy. One major life decision. Nothing's coming to the top of my head immediately.
Anthony? One major life decision we go back and make differently?
Yeah, definitely. I was sitting at the restaurant with my dad, and there was my dad friend come next to us, and he asked me, I was a child, and he asked me, what you want to be when you grow up? And I want to be an astronaut. And then this guy let my dad go to the restroom, and he said, you know what? To study to be an astronaut, that shit is expensive, and your parents doesn't have the money to pay for that. And then I started to believe that.
Asshole.
Yes, right.
Asshole. Good Lord, right? You just in that moment, you're gonna influence a child. Sometime we're gonna talk about my sci-fi convention experience and my experience with Christian music singers, famous Christian music singers, and I always noticed how they treated kids that idolized them. Right, that was the one thing I noticed. Sports stars. I've been around a bunch of those people, a bunch of famous people in all those different venues, and watched about how they treat kids. So they have time for kids. They get time to sign a kid's autograph. They get time to tell the kid something encouraging. You can do it or not, right? And that said everything about their character, what they would say in that moment when they were with kids. And I would see them be two-faced, right? Just be two-faced often when they're looking at somebody, they think, oh, this person has some value to my status. And then they're beautifully happy to this person, and then over here to this person, they're an asshole. Anyway, all right. We got one question left, ladies and gentlemen, this beautiful Wednesday morning. It's Anthony's turn, right?
Right.
Right. Okay. Anthony, out of your gut, what do you want people to say about you at your funeral?
I was trying to do the best to teach them what I learned. I was trying to do the best. He was a good person. He was trying to do the best, guiding us
to teach them something good. Yeah.
Thank you. Right.
Right. Well, you are that, and I always call you that angel in hell for living in Kuwait with your positive attitude. Darren, what do you want them to say about you at your Viking funeral, where you're going to have the boat, and there's going to be a volley of arrows that flies and sets the Viking boat on fire. There's going to be fireworks.
First thing that came to mind was just that, I always tried to do what was good. So I was always trying to do whatever was best for everyone. And myself.
When I was a preacher, I didn't get asked to do very many funerals, but I had a policy of, I'm not doing your funeral if I have to lie about it, right? I mean, if you were drunk and you beat your wife, we were going to get up in the pulpit and say, what a good guy. And there were some people, there was a big deal, right? Because it was a big deal and I heard Brooks give Brooks was my mentor. I heard him give a sermon one time for a family that wanted him to do the funeral of a guy just like that. And he said, I'm not going to get up there and say, what a great guy. He said, we're not going to talk about that. He said, what do you want? And his wife said, tell the truth.
Tell the truth. Wow.
Tell the truth. And so he told the truth, right? He told the truth. This guy wasted his life. His beautiful family over there, right? He wasted his life. Now, see, his funeral had some purpose, but don't get up and lie at my funeral. Tell the truth. Tell it all of it. Let it rip. All right, we're at the 22-minute mark. What do y'all think? You think we should talk about deals?
I think we should talk about some deals.
We're going to talk about deals. Tomorrow, I want to say this, coming up tomorrow, Anthony and Darren are going to interview my wife. And I'm going to try to keep my mouth shut as much as possible, which we all know is a problem for me. But they're going to do it as we begin. She's our very first interview. She has put up with me being unavailable for a couple hours a morning, every morning for at least 32 mornings while we've done this podcast. All right. My name is John Clark, along with Anthony Ferguson and Darren Fingleton. We are the crew of Proven Performer. We sponsor the Made in Paradise podcast with our hard effort to sell big closeout deals. If you're someone that has a big deal that you need to sell, please reach out to us at the phone numbers below, on WhatsApp or via email. We'd love to talk to you, give you a free consultation, and see how we can get you top dollar for your closeout. We have 500 customers in 26 different countries ready to serve you. Every day we've got new deals here on our podcast. We're here every morning, Monday through Friday, every workday with the Made in Paradise podcast. Today we got 3 great food deals. The first food deal we're going to talk about today is Dr. Jelly. Who is Dr. Jelly? Dr. Jelly was founded by Tampa Bay husband and wife who partnered with their childhood friends from Serbia to share authentic homemade flavors of their youth with the USA. Inspired by European heritage and family traditions, their journey begins on the fertile slopes of Golija, where fruit growing is a way of life. Each fruit is handpicked with love, steeped in the sense of tradition and generations of hard work, preserving the essence of their homeland in every jar, Anthony Ferguson. Dr. Jellies, we have strawberry jelly and strawberry and balsamic jelly. I'm not sure, I've never had that flavor before. This has great dating, expires in April of 2028. We have 3,332 cases, 8.5 pallets, 19,992 units. This normal retail is $5.99. These are $1.50 on closeout. Only 8.5 pallets, $1.50. I think this one will go fast. X-Works, Lakeland, Florida, Dr. Jelly's strawberry jelly with a story. Our second deal today is Raya fruit water. Darren, tell us about Raya.
Raya fruit water was built around a simple frustration with the hydration category. The founders launched Raya to push the boundaries of hydration, asking why coconut or plain water should be the only natural choices. Fruit water was their answer, bringing bold, earth-made fruits to a hydration market they felt had been boring for far too long. The brand positions itself as a tastier, more flavorful alternative to coconut water, using natural electrolytes straight from the fruit source, with no artificial sweeteners or added BS. John,
Wow.
What are the details on that product?
Well, Darren, now we have tangerine water with yuzu here as a flavor. Anthony, I know you're a fruit expert, Anthony. You grew up in Costa Rica. You went to university, an expert in fruit, right? What is yuzu? What is the fruit? I know what a tangerine is. This is tangerine water with yuzu. Do you know what yuzu is, Anthony?
No, what it is?
No. All right. Next time we talk or have a podcast, you need to know what yuzu is. All right, we've got Raya fruit water. Comes in 4 great flavors. Is that right? Passion fruit, coconut water, tangerine, pineapple. Yeah, 4 great flavors. Man, some good dating here too. 10 of 27 and January of 28. 6,198 cases on 44 pallets, 74,376 units. 20 cents a can. You won't find any 20 cent a can fruit water in Costa Rica, I'll tell you that. 20 cents a can. That's crazy cheap. Come on
cheap
now.
with long dating.
$14,875 for the entire lot. Probably take 2 trucks to move it because of the weight. Exports Tacoma, Washington, and apparently made in Vietnam. Is that correct? Made in Vietnam. So yuzu might be a Vietnamese fruit. All right. Our last deal today is some baby food. Darren, let's see that slide. Tell us about this baby food.
This baby food is a Target launched Good and Gather in 2019 to give busy families quality food without the premium price tag. The baby line came after, developed by Target's own food scientists to be developmentally appropriate for infants, with no artificial flavors, colors, sweeteners, or high fructose corn syrup.
Wow. And this is cheap for baby food. I got to say, this is one of the cheapest baby food deals I've seen. Again, we got a whole bunch of good dating here. A lot of stuff into 27, into 26. This is 9,000 cases across, looks like 5 different flavors, 180,480 units on 56 pallets, 15 cents a unit. 15 cents a unit. Come on now. That's cheap for baby food. 4 ounces. This is Target brand baby food. We know that it's good. Got a lot of good dating here. 180,000 units, 15 cents a unit. All right.
Can't beat it.
For the Made in Paradise podcast and for the Proven Performer crew, I'm John Clark, along with my co-hosts Anthony Ferguson and Darren Fingleton. We appreciate you watching today. If you like what you saw, please like and subscribe. Leave us a comment. We might even comment on your comment on the next podcast. We do this every weekday, Monday through Friday. Made in Paradise podcast. See you tomorrow.
Bye, guys.